Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeanette Fonseca. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for our container tracking webinar. I'm joined by our Vice President of Sales, Jose Barahona, and our product manager for the container tracking extension, Pedro Alvarez. Jose and himself will be going over a few things on container tracking, its features, its benefits, and how it will help your day-to-day operations. So Jose, please, when you're ready, take it away.
Great. Thank you, Jeanette. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And we're very excited about showing us some of the improvements that we've done. So thank you very much. And this is exciting because this is for our clients. All of you who are joining us today are current Magaya clients. So this is special for you. Thank you, Jeanette. And Pedro, thank you for joining us. Most of you have actually probably spoken with Pedro. He was the one who spearheaded this project, and we're so excited to show you some of the new things that we actually have. So let's get started. We realized early on that within the Magaya system, there was something that kept happening, which was a big problem for our customers. There was a lot of wasted time in manual tasks, and we're going to show this to you in a little bit of a graphic pretty soon, visually, so you can see it, and also very reactive customer service. And when we mean by that, we wanted to give you a snapshot of that problem of the manual process of what you go through on a day-to-day basis. So you have your vessel line, right? And you receive a call from your customer, and you're going to have your pleasantries. The customer is going to take about 2 minutes to tell you exactly what he or she wants. We want to know the status of the container. You copy the container number from the Magaya system. It's going to take you about a minute to find it. And you're going to go to that vessel line and paste the number. And it'll take another minute for you to get your results back. Now you're going to copy the results either in a spreadsheet or back into the Magaya system, right? Make sure you find the right one. You're going to update the customer by email or phone if he's still or she's still with you. And roughly this is taking about another 2 minutes to get back. So we're seeing that this repeats itself for every customer per shipment, and we're kind of ballparking it here at 8 minutes. So customers started coming back and saying, hey, we really want something better, guys. Can you give us a solution? And we really came up with a really nice solution. And yes, Pedro can take all the credit for that. And this is the automatic process that we have. So you have not just one vessel line, but you have many vessel lines that you're working with. And what we wanted to do is to give you one click to track all those containers, which will take you less than a minute, right? So you click on it in Magaya, it goes into the events in your Magaya shipments where you have your shipments saved. And then it's going to do three things. The demographics of your customers that you're working with right now. You have the LiveTrack app. You have the customer who only wants to deal with an app and say, hey, whatever I want to see, give it to me in an app. And you have also the event that's going to go into the LiveTrack portal. So this is a customer who says, I want to log in. I want to be able to put my username, my password, and find out information at my leisure. Then you have the third type of customer who doesn't do the LiveTrack, right, app. They don't do the portal. They just want to receive an email, click on it, and I want to see all this information. So we really try to do a great job at getting all these three demographics of customers that you're helping out right now and giving them the events that are coming from the vessel lines out of the Magaya system and into that. So we wanted to go ahead and make sure that you're all set with all the containers until they arrive to the destination, and not just you, but also your customers. We wanted to kind of take a look at the values here. There are, to click them all, right? We're going to have one way for you to click on them. We're going to show that to you. You're going to see the updated events with all at any time, right? So if something happens in the middle of the night, that's going to go and show up, and we're going to have a couple of screenshots for you to view. And we're also going to change the way your customer service works with LiveTrack, depending on which LiveTrack you're using. When we say LiveTrack, really what we want to do is, hey, how is the customer receiving information from you? And this really changes the game, because most of the time people are reacting, and we in logistics are very reactive. Customer asks for booking number, customer asks for a container number. We are reacting to what he or she wants us to look for. So we've done this by adding a lot more alerts. As you can see here in this example, we actually have an ETA update alert, right? And it's highlighted when it's updated. And you're able to see that these events are brand new in the Magaya system, that they've been created. We also have a way to push information. We said share it, but obviously we know that we're pushing information over to the customer. So we're going in there, and the customer will be with his phone or her phone. They'll get a LiveTrack link. They'll be able to say, hey, there's a notification. They'll log into our LiveTrack. be able to look for the shipment that they want. And inside of that shipment, they'll be able to actually look at all those events that are happening. As you can see, that is a simulated screenshot of the things that your customers will be able to do. So there's over 100 sealines that are supported. So we have a few of them here on the screen. If there are any questions, your Magaya representative can send you a link for you to review all of these different vessel lines that we're working with. But we're always adding. At one point, about 2 months ago, I think it was showing 70. So now we've added 30 more vessel lines into this. So I was very excited to see all these things that are doing. So Pedro, keep up the good work. I'm sure our customers will ask you for a few more vessel lines that they don't show up in there. So we wanted to show you an interactive demo to see how this looks like. We just didn't want to show you screens. We really wanted to show you how this works. So let's go in here real quick, and you should be able to see my Magaya system. Now, I always like to kind of start off with our page one. If you don't know about our page one is how we communicate with you, apart from the emails that you receive from our wonderful team in marketing, letting you know all the great things that are happening. This is a place where you can go in there and also view your knowledge base. A lot of times we're going to send you information directly linked to our knowledge base. Hey, do you know about this? Right now, as you can see, we're announcing our latest version, 11.5. So very important. If you're not running the latest version, definitely jump into that. But you can also request support. You can take a look at our insurance, find out about version 11.5. Now, when we look at the container tracking, we're going to be working with our outgoing shipments, right? And we're going to go ahead and this is how I have my shipments saved by year. And inside of the year, I have the months. And in the month of August, here's what we're working with. Now, the container tracking extension is a very long departure from what we've been able to do in the past, which means you either had to have some sort of connection to that container. You either had to be the shipper, the consignee, the notified party. You either had to do a booking. There was always something that needed to be tied. And when we spoke with product, they said, hey, we want to be able to get our customers to get information without them having to be principal parties into these containers. So this is how this was born. So let's go in here real quick. And you can see that in my Magaya system, and this is how Magaya looks. And we've added a container number in here, right? You see the container that we have. And it's fairly simple to be able to get into that. You have your actions button right up here, which allows you to be able to go into the extensions. And also you can go in here to container tracking, track and container tracking. It's going to open up a new window for you, right? And right now we're just going to be focused on this one container that you're seeing there, right? I didn't add any new containers. It's just showing the last one that I had, right? I can highlight it here. I can go ahead and update it, right? Which is just basically did that, but I can go ahead and say, hey, here's what I have. It's going to tell me I'm just updating 1 out of 10, right? And you can see the information. We're going to wait for a little bit of a green checkbox to tell me that it's ready for me to view it. And I can click on it. It's like a link for the system to tell me exactly what is going on within this container itself. Now you can see when it was done, 605, 609, what is going on, if it's in transit, how long from between ports. So you can see that this is 55 days into it being in transit, when it's scheduled to go to the next port at 8:30, and it gives you the routing information that you have. Well, this is a great screen here. We can go ahead and exit from here. You're able to export this spreadsheet, right? Right now, I'm just seeing one container, but I can click on all. One of the things that you saw in our PowerPoint earlier was the fact that you said you had one container or one click to rule them all, right? At least that's how I say it, right, Pedro? So within that extension itself, I'm able to go ahead and bring up all of my containers for me to be able to show everything that I've been working with. So I'm going to click on all of them right now so you can see all of the different containers that we're working with. And here they are. So if all of these containers I'm doing tracking, and one of the questions that people always ask when we're presenting this is, Jose, what happens when those legs are completed? It's already done. Will it show that it's ended? Does it continue tracking? Well, once the actual vessel line shows that it has ended, it will show you that container here that's ended. Now, I can always go in here, and I always leave them there because the question always comes up. but I'm able to go in here and I can also remove that container at any time. That's not a problem for us to do that, okay? I can go ahead and remove it, all the ones that are ended, but again, I want to show you all how this works. This is also great. I love this. Take a look. This is container return to depot. This was a new status. I can click on the container from here, and all of a sudden I'm seeing all this information that you are looking at. One of the other great things that we're seeing here is also, and by the way, these are some of the updates that we've had since we got the application going. We have the share link option. I'm going to click on share link, and the system is going to go ahead and say that I can share this container details by email or check, right? In a browser, I can click OK. And I'm going to go to the chat. I'm going to paste this for everyone. So all of you that are here, you're going to see the chat. I just posted that link in there, and you're able to do that. And some of you are using the chat for questions. We also have a question area. If you can ask your questions there, that would be great. So we can kind of put them all together. Once we start looking at the chat, there's a whole lot of chats that we got to go through. But if we see the questions, we're able to go to the Q&A and answer you right away. And we do have Pedro, our expert, material expert here, material witness in our container tracking to help us with all those questions that you may have. So you've seen me do a shipment. You've seen me do container tracking for a shipment that already existed. Let me show you how easy it is for you to go ahead and get a shipment done. I'm going to copy, I have a couple of container numbers here. I'm going to make a brand new shipment in Magaya. I'm going to right click here. I'm going to go to add shipments, ocean shipments, and I'm not going to add any information in here. I know all of you have been taught, fill up from left to right. With the container tracking, all you need is an actual container number. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go ahead and put my first container that I have. I'm going to paste my container, click on next, finish. There's my container. Again, no data, no information here. I'm going to actions, extensions, container tracking, container tracking. And now the system is going to go ahead and start finding that container. And we're going to go ahead and once we get the little green checkbox, click on it for us to be able to review it. Again, I can always slide over, take a look. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And share the link because I want all of you to also be able to have a look at this new one that I just created. All right. Perfect. So let's take a look. We can scroll down here once again, tracking details. This is also in transit. You can see the vessels. When is the next action? Was it happening? How many days? 38 days. Now, again, I can go to all, right? I can exit from here. I can export this spreadsheet, this page or all pages. If you have more than one page, again, we are seeing 10 items per page. We can do 20, right? I can also show you something very interesting, and that's in your Magaya system. We talked earlier about going into your events. This shipment I made right now, you saw it. I can go to the events and you're going to see, right, that this started tracking since July 1st. And all the status changes that have happened, even though I just started tracking it today, it's going to bring up all that information from the events. So we're really changing a lot of the way you're able to get this information to your customers, right? Not just to your customers, but also into your Magaya from all of these vessel lines. All these vessel lines are different. If I look at my previous shipment, you're going to see that I have a different shipment and a different set of transactions and different sets of events as they're happening. You can see all of them are in here. Not all data is created equal. And not every vessel line is going to give us the same amount of information. Some vessel lines are going to give us more information than others. What you're going to see here in every one of these is information that the vessel line is giving us. So that's very important. You know, some of them are going to say, hey, Jose, how come I'm getting all this information from this one, but from this one, I'm not getting a whole lot? Well, it depends on the information that comes in from those vessel lines. So we're seeing an app or in this case, an application, an extension that is always evolving. You know, some of the changes that we've made from the infancy of when it started, customer feedback. Hey, can I export this information? Now you can. Can I share these links with my customers? Now you can. It's a simple, is there any way for me to view all of these containers from a different place? You can. You know, you can go to options, you can go to extensions, container tracking, view all containers, and all of a sudden I'm right back at that screen without having to, you know, be opening at a shipment for me to be able to view everything that's going on. And again, we have the ones that are ended. I can highlight those at any time as I'm doing these as we go and just removing these, right? And again, I can go back and I can update all of them. I can just click here and say, hey, listen, I want to update all of these here. Let's see what we have. The system's going to go back, look at all of those vessel lines. So when we say one click to get an update, it's going to go ahead and get all that information. And if there's anything changed, anything new, it would add it into your events, into your shipment. And like we said earlier, those events are going to go into the app. They're going to go to the customer who is actually doing the tracking from the portal. And it's going to go to those customers who only want to receive an email. All of that data is there for your customers to review. It's really that simple. You know, in the past, right, compared to where we were, you had to do some sort of a booking to be able to do that. Pedro, how did I do today, Pedro?
Oh, you did fine. Yeah.
I know that you've been doing a lot of these, a lot more.
Yeah, I've been busy answering a lot of questions here in the QA panel. So
beautiful. We do see a lot of questions there. Would you like to get some questions there answered for us already, Pedro? So I'll take the first one from John. John asked, is the container tracking different than live track? Yes, it is. The information that you're going to be getting from the container tracking will go into live track. So live track is what your customer is going to be viewing to view the information that you have in Magaya. The container tracking is the information that is coming from your vessel lines. Okay, so it's important for you to be able to do that. Okay. Pedro, somebody asked us, what is the source of the tracking data? I'm sure Pedro can either type the answer for you to do that. Is it carrier EDI? In a short answer, yes, it is. It is by those EDI. So the customer does have to have some sort of place for us to be able to grab information and bring it into Magaya. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody asked, can you do tracking of RoRo shipments? You've got to remember, RoRo is not a container number. So if you have roll on and roll off cargo, there is no container number involved. So therefore, this will not work for you. And trust me, I have a lot of customers who ship a lot of vehicles by RoRo. Because there is no container number, the container tracking unfortunately will not work for you there. We do have you know, other way for you to get information about the vehicle, but it will not be linked in the sense as a container, right? Chris asked the question, who sets the ended status? Great question, Chris. The vessel line. The vessel line is the one who sets up that has been ended. Okay. Perfect. Great. Well, that's we have a few more questions. This is really good. So, you know, the container number does repeat itself, Oscar, you're right. And how that is controlled, we don't control that. The person who controls that is the vessel line. So once that vessel line changes that to be ended, your container tracking itself will end. The customer will see that this has been delivered to the final place. And once that container is, you know, recycled by the vessel line, you will not, you know, it's not going to now start a brand new tracking. No, it will show ended, and that is it. You have nothing else to worry about. That container is done. Okay. Let's see, we have a question here. How can we provide portal access to each customer? That's a great question. You actually control that in Magaya. In maintenance, you have an opportunity to go to each individual customer, right click over them and say allow live track access. So it really depends on how you want this done. Look at the 3 examples that we gave you regarding how your 3 customers are going to be working, right? You may have those that want an app. You may have those that just want to get an email. But yes, the traditional ones like me who want a portal, you can control that within the Magaya system. What I will ask you, BD, is if you can reach out to our CSM at magaya.com as our department who manages all our customers. And they're there to help you out and give you the solution that you want. So if you want portal access, we'll show you how that works and get you going in the right way. So let's see. We have one from John. How can we add multiple containers tracking under one shipment? You know, I was going to do that. Pedro asked me to do that, and I showed you just one container. The process would be the same to add a second container in Magaya. So if I'm working out here, right? Let's see here real quick, just to make it a little bit simpler. So here we have a shipment 91 that has no containers, right? So we're going to take this container here, and we're going to go back to 91. We're going to go in here real quick and repack it. I'm just going to very quickly show you how the system can add both of those containers. There's container number 1, right? And let's get this one here. Excuse me, I clicked on the hot box there. We got container number 2. Again, it's a matter of just all cargo, repacking, and I'm just selecting the first description, by the way. I'm just putting a description in there so it makes it easier for us to see what we're doing. So here's my 2 containers. Again, right click here, extensions, container tracking, container tracking. It's going to give us both containers in here, and it's going to go ahead and now start the process. So it's fairly simple. The process is the same. All you have to do is make sure that you have both of those containers in your Magaya right in there. So you can see that both my containers are there. We'll wait for the green checkbox for that to come in. But it's as simple as adding those containers into the all cargo section where you add cargo into your Magaya for you to do that. So that's beautiful. Take a look. We got 2 of them with 2 different statuses. One that was those discharged at final POD, and one that's still in transit. So makes it for a whole lot of fun. I'm going to exit from here, go into our events, and there we are. Take a look. So all of it is in there. And if you'd like, I can send you that link later so you guys can view all of that there. Okay, beautiful. Let's see.
Yeah, Jose, there were some people asking about the updates. And I want to say that there is a automatic or daily update. So every day, all the containers that you are tracking in the extension are gonna be automatically updated every night each time. But you can also do a manual update. If you go to the UI, you can just select whatever container you have there and then do an update, and the update will be done at that moment. So there, you have both ways to have the update. So every day, so you have to do anything every day. You're gonna receive the daily update for every container you have in the extension. And if you want a specific container an update at this moment, you can go there, select it, and just click update in the URL.
Perfect. Jen, question, yeah, that's all it takes is for you to put in a container number, yes, and you are able to use it as soon as you can talk to your CSM and get you set up. It's a little bit of a setup process, but this really takes, it doesn't take a whole lot of, how do I say it? I think the biggest thing is, the wait time. A lot of these, when we have these events, there's a lot of movement, a lot of people want to do it and they want it done yesterday. There's a little bit of a process, but you can definitely get started as soon as we can get to you. Okay, so Ms. Taylor, I would definitely advise you to reach out to your CSM, your Magaya representative. And if you don't know who that is, you can just type csm@magaya.com. Here's my company name. I would like some assistance with container tracking, and one of us will help you out. Okay.
Yeah, I want to add to that feature of container. We are also adding very soon the ability to track by bill of lading numbers. So this is something, some days that we're gonna do very soon, probably next month. So that will be another possibility to track containers.
Perfect. Beautiful. Yes, Stephen, this is being recorded, sir. So we'll go ahead and get you a recording over that to do that. I think, Jeff, we were able to answer that by Pedro. Yes. Does the events tab get updated at certain titles automatically? Yes, it does every night, midnight, or I'm forcing the system to do that, right? As we're speaking here, but yes, every night the system will go out there and set that up for you. Okay. Question here, can containers be automatically added to the list when creating a new shipment? You have to go ahead and tell the system which containers you want. You know, this was an internal discussion that we had. Let's just put all the containers in there. But what we realized is some customers didn't want that. Some customers said, look, this container, I don't want to track it, but this one I do. So we're giving you the opportunity to select which ones are there. You know, we don't want to force you. And that's one of the things about Magaya. You know, we give you a lot of flexibility. So, you know, it'd be easier to say, hey, everything gets tracked. But in reality, we have some customers here out of South Florida who have maybe a 1-day transit time that need to go to the Bahamas for Miami, and they're not going to really be in there doing that. So we went ahead and said, hey, let's just go ahead and have you added in there. You want it to track, you just have to, you're in the shipment. All you got to do is click on a down arrow and go from there. Okay.
Yeah, I want to add something here for Thorsten. And to increase productivity here, you don't have to do it shipment by shipment. So you can go to the shipment list and select a group of shipment and do it in bulk. So you can just go to the shipment list, right click and do the same thing. Send to container tracking, and all the containers that have in multiple shipments, it can be added to the extension with just one click. So that is a halfway through automatically putting it into the extension. So that could be probably that can solve the problem of doing semi-automatically. That's it.
That's a great point. You know, one of the things that we're doing here is to kind of mimic what you're going to be doing on your day-to-day, which is why we do it this way. But you're right. You know, there is another way, which would be through the shipment list and highlighting those and then just doing it that way. But you know, if you were to start with the container tracking tomorrow, this most likely is what you'll end up doing. So the last thing we want is to not show you exactly what you're going to be experiencing when you get this application. Beautiful. We'll take a few more questions here. Let's see. Does this only work within the shipment module, or can it work from the pickup module when we're not handling ocean freight but handling the drayage on a pickup level? This will only work with your shipment, right? Now, you're going to see here that in the shipment, it's going to tell you that it was picked up, right? The drayage that's going on, if it's a land transshipment, it's going to show it to you. In fact, if I highlight here, you're going to see that that's where it's at. But it will not work, Daniel, from a pickup order standpoint. We're working from the shipment level. We want to be able to do that. Okay. And I think that kind of answers the next question, which is, hey, is it tracking by terminal level? And I don't know, Pedro, if you have an update on that, because we have had a few people say, hey, is this gonna, track at the terminal level? And what we're getting is information from the vessel line, right? Again.
Yeah, in fact. Yeah, I want to point that because vessel lines can give you also information on the terminal, also ground movement, but it really depends on the sea line. So the bigger is the sea line, they tend to give you more details of what is happening. So we are with this extension, we are only channeling all the events that arrive from the sea line, and we are putting it into Magaya. So the basic or the main idea of this extension is to integrate Magaya with all the sealines that we can add, and yeah, that really we are not manipulating the events. So the events are the ones that the sealines send, and it really depends on them. So basically,
yeah. So let's see here what we have. Gallo had a question. If there's some sort of alert, if the container door is open during the trip, we don't have that right now, Gallo. basically it's the information that we're working is what we get from the vessel line itself. So if there is a communication from the vessel line, that is what's going to show up here. Javier asked if there is an API to work with the system. Javier, get with your CSM. Short answer is yes. Definitely, you want to go ahead and talk to them to give you an idea of what we have. Okay. So do we need to update the software while we're on cloud? To use the container tracking? No, the container tracking can be used as is right now. The only time we're asking you to update the system is when you have new technology like the Flow WMS. This is brand new application that just came out and it needs the latest version, but otherwise what we're showing you here, you can use with any version that you have as long as it's a recent one. You know, there's some of us will be renamed. We won't say your name, but you're staying with a very, very low version, but we definitely want you to update, but there is no need for that. Okay. So.
Yeah, I want to add, I want to answer a question here about the, if the information update, for example, the ATA date is gonna change also the shipment date that you have in Magaya. And we are working on a new feature that will do that. So we're gonna release it very soon too, together with the VOL ability to track containers. We are also adding the ability to, the ATA update event that is coming from the extension will change the shipment ETA date that you have there. And there will be also a configuration if you want to use it or not. So we are not going to force to use that. But yeah, it will be very soon available.
Beautiful, beautiful. Chris asks, safe to assume this works for both import and export? Yes, you're assuming correctly, sir. It works as long as you have a container number that is going to work. Okay, so the key here is making sure you have a container number and you'll be able to do that. And that was the example I gave more with the co-loaders. Sometimes, you know, you're not the main person moving that container. As long as you have that container, you'll be able to do that. Okay. Let's see. Javier, no, when it comes to the API and the transactions that happen, you're going to have to talk to your CSM about that. There is no trial for that because that involves programming. So it'd be very difficult to get all that programming done with no cost. So we definitely got to talk to you. But yeah, reach out to us at csm@magaya.com. That would be C as in Charlie, S as in Sierra, M as in Mike. So csm@magaya.com. I think Gustavo has a question. Is the data coming from standard in English? Any changing it to Portuguese, Spanish, for example? Pedro, could you help me out with that one?
Yeah, it's basically in English. We are working on doing some localization, but the thing here is that we have core events that are all the events that have on the that we can control. So the event on the port of destination, in transit, and we are gonna always have those. But there are a number of other events that are sent by the sealines, and those are mainly sent by the we cannot control, and it will be very difficult to translate in live. Let's see. So for the UI, for sure, we are working on a localization in Spanish first. For the banks specifically, we need to think about it because it can be very difficult. So,
Perfect. There's a few other questions that were coming in. We want to get to all of them. Let's see. I think Pedro's answering Fernanda. What happens to the container is reused? Again, once that container shows ended in your Magaya, it will no longer be tracked, as we do know that that these containers will be recycled. We understand that, but it will show ended. Let me see if I can show that screen here real quick. Let me go ahead and go into my options here, my extensions. And if I'm in here real quick, you're going to see that there is a few that show ended. That means that I may have, let's see, do all of them. I may have gotten rid of the ones that are ended, as you can see. But for sure, once that is recycled by the vessel line, it will
Yeah,
not
try
affect.
to filter by tracking column. If you put on tracking and you click on the drop down.
I'm sorry, say
Yeah,
that again.
I want to also take advantage here to show that in this UI, you can also filter by container number. So if you click in the column, that you see that there are input field there, and if you
So just
click-
you want me to do the filter, or just click on the container itself, just like that?
yeah, you can. So you can sort it, and you can also filter. And one of the filter, for example, in the tracking column, if you click on all, there will be a false, and it will give you the ones that are not being tracked or not. That
So
are like
the ones that you're tracking, is that the one that you
yes,
want? Perfect. Okay. Or the latest ones, the ones that we worked on
latest.
here. Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, you have a lot of possibilities to manage all the data that you have inside this UI. So you can filter, and you have also advanced filter if you click on the hamburger menu.
Perfect. Beautiful. So I know that I've been saying a lot of where you can reach out to us. That's the email there. Jeanette, thank you very much. Pedro, thank you. We have a lot of questions that you've had. This is wonderful. There's a few more. Please send us your emails at csm@magaya.com. You can reach us at 786-845-9150. Also, you can say, hey, I want to speak with my CSM. We'll gladly assist you. We have definitely had a great time with all of you. We want to make sure you get back to your day-to-day. This is very exciting. So please send us an email. You will get a copy of this recording from our marketing department. And once again, thank you very much for joining us. It is great to see all the customers come in and join us. This is another exciting opportunity for us to help you serve your customers better. Have a great afternoon from all of us here at Magaya, and thank you for joining us. Have a great day, everyone.